All right. Let's see. Hi, hi. I'm Sailor Mercury, Amy here, and today I'm gonna talk about this one thing that tends to come up. Well, it's nothing bad or anything, but it is something that you know. So um, I always thought that I was the black sheep of the Sailor Moon followership. Now, you might ask yourself and say, why would you think that about yourself? Now, the meaning of a black sheep refers to someone who is a follower of a kin or a team that either doesn't behave or doesn't think the same way they do or doesn't stand with them on stuff, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I guess it has to do with whoever it is. Now, the grounds to why I might see myself as that is that first off, my thoughts and beliefs and take on Sailor Moon might not be the same as all the other, followers of Sailor Moon out there. You know, like anyone who looks at this YouTube fairway might be like, you know, oh, why am I even talking about this for? I don't know, but they might look at it and they might say, "Oh, well, you're a follower of the Deacon, the Cloverwain, whatever offshoot of Sailor Moon. You're working the Deek names or the Cloverwain names, and not the Toby, not the Toei or the Viz names." And since my take on it might be on like their take, like, "Oh well, you got Sailor Earth, you got Ernest, and they're yeah, well, whatever." So oh, now I know the true grounds for this film now. It just came to me. A lot of folks out there like to talk about how they believe my strengths are worthless. Now, a lot of folks will scathe me and say, "Oh, well, your strikes are just water and ice and bubbles and it doesn't really do anything." Now, yeah, I'll give you that they don't do that, but water and ice do. But that used to be something everyone used to always scathe me about, or at least make fun of me. You couldn't go in any, you couldn't watch any Sailor Moon, whatever, um, laughing stock or offshoot or whatever take you want to call it, um, without them bringing up how they said, "Oh well, Sailor Mercury, or Sailor Quicksilver, her water strikes aren't that good." You know, even though I get a lot of onlook from everyone as far as being wise and stuff. So yeah, so someone might look at that and say, "Well, is bubble an English word? I don't know. It's probably some borrowed word, but whatever." Someone might look at that and say that that doesn't do anything. Yeah, that may have been true. That strike may have been weak and didn't do much, but all the other strikes and hits that I got over the years, over the five followings and or the you know or the four followings or whatever, you know, I mean water is a strong thing, and also so is ice, and no one never bitched about those. But they like to say, they always like to scathe me and say, "Well, your first strike was worthless. It didn't do anything, you know." So, yeah, well, I couldn't help that was the first strike or hit I got, was that, you know. And then, well, they never ever talk about, "Oh, well, she has water strikes and she has, ice strikes too. They don't talk about those. Yeah, they like to um. What I'm seeking to say is that they like to make it out to be like that was the only striker hit I had, and I didn't get any others. So then they said I was worthless. Or at least that strike was worthless. Well, there may have been times where it didn't work, but there were times where it did work. And soon I got other strikes and hits that included giving me water. And then soon I got ice. And no one said a word after that. But they do tend to believe that my strikes are worthless when they're not. They got this belief going that, oh, well, she had whatever shot you with round, wet things, and it didn't do anything. Yeah, well, that's not. And it's like, in their mind, it's like they believed that they were all worthless, but it wasn't. I had more than one strike. As the show went on, and there were four followings if you look at the Deke and the Cloverway work, and the free films if you look at Pioneer Pathseeker's work. And geez, five of them if you look at the Toby and the Viz work. But whatever work you looked at or watched, that I got greater strikes and hits. Ones that had water and ones that had ice in it. And no one ever said that water and ice was worthless for a strike or a hit. But there are a lot of folks out there who tend to believe it, since the first strike and hit I got was just blowing something and it made some kind of fog. But the way I look at it is even that could do something, because the foe can't see, then the foe can't strike you, and the foe can't harm you or harm anyone else. So I don't know why some folks would say that was worthless. But once I started getting my strikes that worked with water and my strikes that worked with ice, then I wasn't what you would call worthless anymore. Hell, I never was worthless to begin with. But to go out there and say all my strikes and hits were worthless, that was just a mean thing to say. That might have been someone's thought and belief of it, but there wasn't no truth to it. Yes, and I know that I did make this film a long time ago, way, way, way back, our first YouTube fairway, but I never talked about my strikes and hit being worthless or whatever you want to call it until now. At least not on this YouTube fairway. So anyway, that's it for me. If you like this film, then follow me here at Sailor Moon for Life, which is always going to be in the middle, and watch the film where Tuxedo Mask talks about his take on Microsoft or Unseen Soft Windows 11. I'm Sailor Mercury Amy. Hope you like this film.